How have you got me loud and clear? How's that sound? Testing 1, 2, testing. Hello, testing, testing, testing. Sweet, good to go.
Number 15, Number 18, Number 20, Number 23, Georgia Unspot. And number 32, Natalia Otis. Their substitutes, number 3, Marion Dunbar. Number 4, Ian Dwarfrock. Number 7, Julian. Number 13, Alexandra Tagaruni. Number 17, Sophie Johnson. Number 19, Leah Cunningham. And number 22, Georgie Wood. And our coach by Ben Morgan. Time to welcome our teams to the 2026 NBL Women's Northern New South Wales HMRI Charity Shield between Charlestown Junior and Maitland FC.
Good evening and welcome to Jack McLaughlin Oval for what promises to be a blockbuster start to 2026. The HMRI Charity Shield returns, and the very first match broadcasted here on the Northern New South Wales YouTube to begin season 2026. Charlestown and Maitland going head-to-head tonight. Azuri swept all before them in 2025, claiming every piece of silverware on offer, but you can be sure that Maitland have not forgotten. Ryan Doige joins me in the commentary box. Ryan, if anything like last year was to go by, we're in for an absolute treat tonight.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Certainly, I think Maitland will be out there for revenge right from the start. I would think Charlestown obviously got the better of them in every grand final last year, so that will not sit well with Maitland. So I'm really looking forward to this, and as you said, should be a blockbuster start to 2026.
It's going to be a huge year ahead here on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. A lot of changes for both sides this season as well. As we see Maitland, they'll be led by Ben Horgan tonight, while for the Azuri, Alicia Ferguson, the experienced Matilda, joins their coaching staff. And I tell you what, Azuri there, got a lot of uncertainty heading into this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes. Both coaching staff changes from last season for both teams. A lot of player personnel changes, certainly for Charlestown. So you know, we'll see.
Certainly, huge clash awaits these two. Another chapter set to be written. Jack McLaughlin Oval again hosting the Charity Shield this year. Fair play to the groundsmen; they've done all right this year.
Yeah, field is looking absolutely ready for the season ahead.
Both teams going through their final messages in this one. A determined Maitland to our right, as you can see, out for revenge. This is Azuri side. Well, they did it all last season, but a handful of background changes have seen them with a new look squad. Our referee for this one today, Harrison Coleman, the man with the whistle. Like you touched on, Ryan, this has got a lot of question marks heading into this one. How important is a fast start?
Yeah, and look, both teams will be approaching this game today like it is game one of the season. There is silverware on the line. Okay, it's still a pre-season game technically, but I absolutely know when you come into these games, starting well, starting strong is absolutely critical.
We're underway here in the Women's 2026 HMRI Charity Shield. Jack McLaughlin again hosting us today. Maitland to push it from side to side now. That ball over the top. They're through down the right here. Huge chance for Maitland. The cut back. Pountney takes a shot into the hands. That's a fast start for Maitland.
Good start from Maitland, yeah. They're showing their intent right from the beginning there. But really steady hands there from Danielle Bertels, who is one of the players for Charlestown to hang around into this season.
I was going to say, one of the only players, if that, to feature in Zuri's side. Zuri in that more bluer of kits this season.
And Charlestown will be pleased that Danielle stayed as well, because she is a steady pair of hands, bags of experience, a quality keeper, if not the best, absolutely one of the best in our league. So they'll be really pleased that she hung around, and they'll be relying on her this year for sure.
It's a lot of experience across the park for both sets of teams. And a Pountney up front for Maitland, looking to continue her goal scoring form as now O'Driscoll sends it forward. That one will go out of play for a Maitland throw.
Maitland this year I feel like they've got a real good mix of experience with their players, but they've brought in some young players. Probably Ben Horgan's link to the Newcastle Jets.
Yeah, that shot deflected, still alive here for Nenadovich. She'll drive into the box, takes a shot, and that's a sharp save. Pushed away from the corner in the end. But Sophie Nenadovich with a chance, and I think a foul's been given.
Yeah, and to finish what I was saying there, Nenadovich is the experience in the squad. But surrounding Nenadovich, even in the middle, O'Driscoll was at the Jets Academy a couple of years ago, was with Central Coast Mariners last year. Young Sienna Frost, who's starting out wide left, number 9 for Maitland, has been in and around Northern New South Wales programs. Even along with Liz Klaus, the left fullback number 20, was at the Jets Academy as well last year. So a really good mix, in my opinion, of experience with some young blood as well.
It's crucial for teams these days, isn't it, having that mix? And like you mentioned, Sophie Nenadovich coming the closer of the two sides so far to start this one. She's been impressive, hasn't she? NPL Player of the Year last year, named in the Team of the Year, the All-Stars. She was everywhere in Maitland's run last year. No silverware for them, but I'll be eager to pick that up today. It's now driving through the midfield is Dag. Releases out wide now. Georgia Amos, the cutback in the air. Sienna Frost gets a head onto it, and that's agonisingly close. But again, Maitland, it's been all there to start this one.
Yeah, and Sienna Frost will do that all day long. If you keep an eye on the number 9 when the ball's on the opposite side of the field, there's absolutely no questions about it. Sienna Frost will be heading into that box, full of intent, full of hunger. It's absolutely what describes her as a player. I'm looking forward to seeing how she gets on tonight.
Played a huge part again in Maitland's run last season, but I'm looking forward to seeing her down this left-hand flank as she releases Clouds. That one will run out of play, and the little tackle on the way down. Like you mentioned, Maitland's attack seemed to be very quick out wide on the flanks. And if Renee Pountney, she's requiring that sort of service to get on the end of those crosses. Now a battle down here. Jessie Gentle. Still Gentle, battling hard. She'll keep it into play. I think she'll earn her side of throwing, no? Maitland will win that one. But that's probably one of the first times, Ryan, that Charlestown have been in Maitland's half. Yeah,
and a good solid run from Jessie Gentle. She did well, kept fended off the defender, got it into the corner, was unlucky not to get anything from it.
A bit better from Missouri as now Pountney flies on the pressure. Throw in now deep. That might run all the way out, will it? It will be a goal kick. So a good spell there from Charlestown. Now the high press of Azuri. The long ball over the top. It's caught that Azuri defence unaware. But across was Chloe Martin, the skipper, to cover. Maitland, of course, without Sophie Stableford today, as now will resume because Amos goes down the right. She's got options. Pountney for the cutback. Renee Pountney opens the scoring for Maitland. You felt it was coming, and that's a composed finish. And Maitland, who are very hungry for revenge, take the lead early in this one.
We've seen a couple of times now Georgie Amos down the right-hand side. She's got in behind. Maitland have actually looked for that a couple of times now. They're clearly targeting that right-hand side. Again, runners in the box and a composed finish. And it looks like an easy finish, but when the ball's moving across you like that, a real focus to hit the back of the net, which she well and truly did.
I think that might have even been on our weaker foot as well, Ryan. But certainly a composed finish. We mentioned the importance of starting fast, and that's what Maitland has done. And Ben Horgan's side take the lead early in this one. It's now Zuri up the other end. Redmond with the switch and just doesn't find pass. And now this game is starting to open up a little bit now. Amez searches long again to the right flank. O'Driscoll will chase it. Tight battle there. She claims she'll win the throw, but Azuri will win that one deep into the half.
For Maitland by number 14, Renee Pountney. Makes the score, Maitland left in down, Charlestown Azuri.
You see the Maitland bench reacting to that goal. First goal is always so crucial in a game. And like you mentioned, Maitland expect them to target the width in this one. Frost. Harder now come down the right. Jessie Gentle uses the afterburners. Gentle into the box. The cutback again. And the shots! Wow, Ellie Jones. Wow. So close to finding that top left corner.
It's really interesting because what it points out for me there is it's a different type of finish, but similarly in some aspects that the ball's been cut back, to the goal that was scored. Ball's cut back, moving at pace. She got good contact on it, but leant back a little bit and got it into the air, and it just sailed over but some real positive signs there from Charlestown.
Very, very close indeed for Azuri. A great run by Jessie Gentle as well, who's really turned on the afterburner. She seems to be the target up top for Azuri. Now Frost, she looks to chase that one down. Confusion there. Nenadovich now searching for options. He uses Amos. Amos, the cutback again, finds Pountney. The dummy is nice, still not cleared. Frost takes the shot. But again, down that right side, Ryan, and the cutback was on again.
Yeah, Charlestown are going to have to really address that. They're getting a lot of joy, Maitland, down the right-hand side. They've been in behind, they're playing in front. Charlestown just need to get a little bit of a hold on their left, Maitland's right.
That's a target from Maitland so far as they look to come down this side again. Great intervention there. DiCasso, O'Driscoll. Now DiCasso clears. So Sophie Staplefield, not the only absent for Maitland today. They're also without Charlotte O'Connor. So their injury list will be looking to heal as quick as possible as we head into round one next week, Ryan. A really exciting time for football here in Northern. Round one getting underway next week.
Yeah, really looking forward to the 2026 season in Northern New South Wales football in both the men's and the women's NPL competitions.
Catch every single game live here on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. This is a great teaser for what's to come. He's now Gentle is the target again. She'll get the afterburners on. It's a great battle down this right-hand side between her and Willow Neal. Here is Neal. Misplaced pass, and now Pountney pounces. She's away. There's options searching in the box. Pountney's ball delivery and Amos just couldn't get on the end of that one, but a great interception from Pountney and another promising play from Maitland. Bartels with nothing to do there, otherwise kick that one out. See some of the crowd getting into it. A great turnout here as well at Jack McLaughlin, Ryan. It's the third consecutive year we've held the HMRI Charity Shield here. So let this play unfold. Nanovic, she takes a long strike and sails well over the bar.
Interesting decision there from Nananovic. She had Pountney right ahead of it, and it was actually an easier ball probably to play Pountney in there. For me, there, wrong decision from Sophie. I think Pountney probably was in if she'd have been spotted and rolled in.
Yeah, the centre back sort of opened up there, and Pountney found herself in space. But here she is now. Offloads it to Dag. The new signing, Elodie Dag. That's a lovely through ball. Amos now down the right-hand flank with a touch. Does get the cutback and earns her side a corner.
Charlestown just looked a little bit lopsided for me, especially on their left-hand side. I noticed that there's a couple of players more inclined to come on the inside of the field, which is giving Maitland that little bit of room on the right-hand side, which they're really taking advantage of right now.
Maitland, the better of the two sides so far. They've got a chance here. The delivery is deep. Cleared. Frost in there, still alive. Morley. Back to Josie Morley. She puts one across. Talia Gosnar trying to keep this one in. Does really well there. Frost. And Missouri survive.
So you look at the top of your screen right now, you'll see Georgie Amos, and Charlestown are really tucked right over onto this near side, near us where the ball side is, which is fine when you're defending because you want to minimise time and space. But what it does is it really leaves you vulnerable on the opposite side, and that's where Maitland are taking advantage right now.
You can't afford a player of Amos's quality. That much space, that's something that Azuri will look to tidy up. But Maitland with all the ball. Nanatovic searching for a hole there. Azuri earned himself a throw in. But yeah, you're certainly right. That seems where the trouble is going to be for Maitland. We've seen, what, 3 or 4 times now they've had goal scoring opportunities down that right-hand flank. O'Driscoll out wide. Amos O'Driscoll makes a run forward. Amos will look to turn the afterburners on. She always wants to beat that first player. He's now driving, running to the box. Klaus takes a shot and Bartels comes across. It's Will O'Neill actually with the strike.
Yeah, Klaus and O'Neill have Klaus and Neil have just switched sides by the looks of it right now. Klaus has gone onto the right-hand side, and Willow's come out onto to the left-hand side. I think that probably favours Liz Klaus's right foot. And again, I think that's probably a part to play about exposing Charlestown on that side.
Dad goes short to Poutney. Her delivery cleared O'Driscoll with the shot. That one goes over the bar. Talia O'Driscoll, new to Maitland's side this season, signed from the Mariners Academy. She's one of a handful of players new to this Maitland squad. Now Neil battling hard, sends Frost down the left. Frost up against Martin. Frost does really well. Goes for the early delivery. There's confusion, but Bartels comes out to claim. Gentle now. Loads of space in front of her if she can find it, and the clash there. Klaus has done well to come out. That looked like a huge challenge now. Nenadovich drives into space. A lovely ball looking for Frost. Frost tries to sort of feed out, but earns her side a corner. They're very quick to break, aren't they, Maitland, when they lose the ball?
Yeah, and there's a few gaps as well being left by Charlestown, which Maitland are exploiting. It was a lovely pass from Nenadovich. That just showed her quality for me there, driving into that space, engaging defenders, weight of pass, timing of pass, really quality from Nenadovich.
Certainly a composed midfielder, that one deep. Nearly an own goal. Yeah, but out for another Maitland corner as they ramp up the pressure. New goals here at Jack McLaughlin as well. I think they're on wheels, so not what we're accustomed to see. Nonetheless, a strong crowd building here ahead of a huge night of football to kick things off. And Maitland, another corner here. Melody Dag to take. Steve, the header. Talia Gosner doubles Maitland's lead. It was a perfection in the corner. And tell you what, she just had a free header there and she couldn't miss.
Yeah, Ish Ferguson, the Charleston coach, is going to be really disappointed with that. For me, it's a good delivery by Elodie Dag, but it's a straightforward corner. Absolutely, you would expect Charlestown to be picking up players in and around their 6-yard box. Goalkeeper would like to probably do a little bit better there as well. And in the end, it was a really easy finish for Gosner, and there probably won't be many more easier goals for her than that this season. 6 yards out, nobody near her. Yeah, like I said, I think the Charlestown head coach will be disappointed with that. But let's see. Let's hope Charlestown can stay in this and hang on. The next probably 15 minutes is going to be critical for them.
You don't want them to concede that third. You feel like that might just ruin their confidence, however, but it's Maitland again. Frost down the left, she'll try to keep this one in. But yeah, Bartels has to probably do a little bit better there, coming out to claim, and like you mentioned, Gosner with a free header. And you can see the reaction by the Maitland players as well, how much they want to win this and get the first piece of silverware. Just joining us here on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. Maitland with 2 goals inside the opening 15 minutes. They lead Azzurri 2-0. Azzurri, the side who, well, they won everything that was up for grabs last season, but it's been a positive start here from Maitland, especially out on the wide flanks. They're not done yet, neither is this Azzurri side. Gentle now.
So that's probably where Ben Horgan is hoping Liz Klaus can do a little bit better with that first touch, to open up on her back foot, drive into the space. as the camera pans around now, you'll start to see the space opening up on this area here, specifically this area here, where Liz Klaus can drive into that space, engage some defenders, pull out the Charlestown fullback for Georgie to make that run in behind there. They've had a lot of joy doing that, Maitland, at the minute, and Ben Horgan will be hoping they can get a little bit more out of it.
Nanovic with a lovely ball. Frost cuts in on her right foot. Sienna Frost takes a strike. And just wide. She'll be looking for a goal, Frost. She's been dangerous in the opening stages. Just wide of the post there. That ball now was a clearance and Pountney tried to run over the top. Charlestown need to step things up in the remaining 25 minutes or so. Not out of it yet, but Maitland by far the better side as things sit. Frost down the left. Battling Sienna Frost. Tidy footwork. That's really nice from Frost. Neal. Frost again, she had numbers out to the right in Georgia Amos. Still alive. O'Driscoll goes to ground, nothing's given. Azuri looked to break, but in that final pass, just luck again. That's great football by Maitland. Final pass, he felt like that should have went out right to Amos. Interception there. Battling hard is Josie Morley. Searches for the run. Frost wasn't on the same wavelength. So Ryan, 20 minutes into this one, you feel Maitland are being the much better side?
Yeah, Charlestown have struggled to get a hold of this game. I think Liz Klaus there's something wrong with Liz Klaus here, which she wants to bring a bit of attention from the physio on. But Charlestown have struggled to get a hold of this game. They're really finding it difficult to be in possession. Danielle, the goalkeeper, Bertels, she's gone long often from goal kicks. Charlestown have struggled to recover the ball once she has gone long, which means Maitland are dominating possession, and they've taken advantage of Maitland's far side, which again, if you keep an eye out, it's Charlestown are trying to minimise time and space by really coming across and keeping play predictable, keep it on one side. But Maitland are just playing through that and exposing Charlestown on their right-hand side.
During that break there, Chloe Martin looked to fire her troops up to this back end of the second half. They need a reaction. We were discussing off there, but we feel like it's crucial that Azuri have kept Bartels and Martin, especially Martin in particular, who leads this Azuri side. It's a very different looking side. Is now searching for options. A switch probably wasn't the right idea. Ellie Jones goes to ground. Referee Harrison Coleman gives nothing, and now this is where Maitland is so dangerous. But Bartels out to claim. For a second there, I thought she was going to go on a run. So now we pause play, will we? Looks like Ellie Jones has gone to ground for Azuri in that challenge that unfolded earlier. And the physio for Azuri will be called on. So a break for these two sides while Lily Jones gets treated. Hopefully nothing too serious. Azuri have stayed on the field. Maitland heading over for a much needed drink because they've been very, very intense to start this one round.
Yeah, they'll be happy with how they've started. They're 2-0 up and looked good for it. To be honest, they could probably have been a little bit more crucial in and around the box. Sienna Frost has had a couple of shots that have been off target. Nat O'Driscoll on the edge of the box, and you know, whilst they're looking good, like I said, I think the Charlestown head coach, what she'll probably want more from her players is calmness on the ball, looking to keep possession a little bit longer. You saw the one down closest to our side here, where the number 11 Georgia Miners for Charlestown decided to switch the ball. For me, in those moments, it's about building momentum, keeping possession, even if you're just short passes, making them count, and kind of pulling yourself back into the game here, because it's a danger that Maitland kind of run away with this at this stage. And you know, I said to you, the next 15-20 minutes are going to be vital. So it's important for Charlestown to stay in this game and start to get a feel for it.
That would certainly be the message from Alicia Ferguson. As we mentioned, a very new side. But again, the right flank utilised. Amos puts the afterburners on, cuts inside. The cutback, who she was searching for, there was a few Maitland bodies in the box. She will cover it out wide. Dag. Twisting, turning her chip. And eventually has to be put behind for another Maitland corner.
Good pick up, Elodie Dag for Maitland. With her, Amos, Nanadovic, Stapleford. There's 4 top quality players within our NPL competition, and they really have strengthened well this year, Maitland.
Dag, the new signing from Newcastle Olympic. She's come across on board this season. That delivery deep. Confusion in the box. Can't see where the ball has ended up, and I think Bartels copped one there. Hopefully nothing too serious, but a bit of a scramble in the box there. Touching on Elodie Dag, like you mentioned earlier, named in the Northern New South Wales Team of the Year last year, and also featured at Darling Street Oval for the All-Stars Clash.
You would expect a few of these Maitland girls to be in and around that Team of the Year again, to be honest. We've already seen Nenadovic's quality on a couple of her passes. She's shown a little bit of her passing range. The balls that have been played out to the right-hand side for Maitland have kind of come through her. She's certainly their playmaker. You know, she really dominates that midfield when she's in possession. You can see you can't see on camera right now because the camera's focusing on the goalkeeper, but Nenadovic has actually pulled Georgia Amos to the side, and they're actually having a conversation, and they're pointing almost to where Nenadovic is going to be playing that pass to Georgia Amos in the next 20 minutes. So they're recognising it, and as a coach, you know, for Ben Horgan, he'll be really pleased with the start that his players have made, and what he'll also be pleased about here is that the players are recognising, whilst the play is going on, the areas to exploit. You know, Charlestown here are getting together and having a conversation themselves, and for me, like I kind of said, Harry, 5 minutes ago, it's about, okay, you know, the Maitland are on top right now. It's about how we stay in the game. It's about us trying to control possession, get on the ball as much as we can, not give the ball away so easy at times, get a little bit of field position. A lot of the time we've been played in Charlestown's half, so get a bit of field position, try and get into Maitland's half, try and turn Maitland, even if it's getting throw-ins, getting corners, those kind of things, where Charlestown can slowly kind of build themselves back into the game. It's a new team. It's going to take them a while, but that's probably what Charlestown need to do for the remainder of the first half at least.
They haven't had good stints with the ball, have they? They've seemed to, when they have won it back, turn it over quite quickly. But like you mentioned, it'll be interesting to see how Azzurri develop across this season. They are home to New Lambton next week to kick off things in round 1. The main thing is Bartels has recovered and play resumes. Nahovic with a strong header there. Frost with runners forward. Finds Neil. Frost again. It's been a good combination down this left between her and Neil O'Driscoll. Novich. Clowes now in the channel. Not sure if Elodie Dag knew too much about that one. But again, Azuri turn it over. Amos down this right-hand side. She puts a ball in and Chloe Martin has no other choice to boot that one across the sideline. I think Maitland, yeah, could probably make a case that they've had probably over 6 corners in this one so far. They've rammed up the pressure.
Yeah, and although Charlestown dealt with the last corner, it was bouncing around in the box on the back of Maitland scoring the one previously. So we'll see how this one goes for Charlestown.
It's crucial for Charlestown here. The ball not too high in terms of height. Charlestown happy to clear for now. Dag back out wide. Dag's cross is a dangerous one. Poutney at the front stick. Still alive. And the ball eventually out of play, but again, Poutney, that's a great run to the front post.
Yeah, Dag will be disappointed with that corner. It was a poor corner, to be honest. She recovered well and put the second ball across, which was better, and hopefully Elodie Dag will want to make better use of these corners moving forward.
Redmond. Missouri looking to settle down the play. Pass. Right intention, poor execution. And Maitland now have to slow down the play and use their goalkeeper at times, Annabelle Thornton, who's been another key piece to Maitland this season between the sticks. Is now again, they look for that long ball. It's Willow O'Neill with the overlapping run. Frost back to Neil. Neil wins the duel. Plays in Poutney. She takes an early strike. Just wide of the post. But again, Willow O'Neill, something we're noticing is Frost is tucking inside and allowing Neil to bomb on forward.
Yeah, Harry, the only thing I would say about Willow and Sienna out here on the left-hand side is that they're both right-footers. So what that means is it's going to be very rare that they get on the outside of their marker. They're going to want to come inside all the time. Now, if you're a fullback or a winger, you can almost predict that. And you can almost try and force them to go on the outside of you, because they're going to want to come in on the outside, on the inside all the time with them being right-footers. And that's the only problem when you've got 2 right-footers on the left-hand side.
It's a good point you touch on, that those two have been electric to start this one. O'Driscoll plays a lovely ball. Frost continues to run. Poutney holds it up for now. Poutney with the switch, the right idea, looking for Amos. But intention just not there. Again, Azuri rushing things. And they're robbed now. Nardovic draws a foul, but again, Azuri, as soon as they won the ball back, they're just looking to play straight away, and it didn't come off. Yeah,
and I think that's what's going to be frustrating Ish Ferguson, because she will be wanting them, have a breather, take some time. Be confident in possession. Don't need to rush things right now. Okay, we're 2-0 down, but there's plenty of the game to go. If Charlestown get the next goal, this game is well and truly a tie, you know. Ish will be saying for me at half-time, if Charlestown can get there at only 2-0, she'll be telling them that, I think.
We know 2-0 is a very dangerous scoreline in football, but Missouri need to get a bit of a foothold in this one. Plenty of space out right. Frost. Gets inside. Neil on her preferred right foot. Dinks it in. It'll fall. Amos takes a strike, and it's a good block there by DiCasso. Another great challenge, and she'll draw a foul for the Azuri team. Azuri tossing up with to go for the long ball. They'll play short. Maitland's pressure through O'Driscoll now. Maitland have pinched the ball back straight away. And opposite to Azzurri, Maitland are being more calmer on the ball.
Yeah, they are, and that's what's working for Maitland right now. And what they'll do, I think, is they'll look to suck Charlestown over this side and then look to exploit on the other side through Nenadovich. That's probably a foul. Yeah, through Nenadovich, trying to get out that other side. That was a little bit better from Charlestown. Now, for me, it's around these moments can be crucial when you haven't had a lot of possession. Don't rush them. Take your time. Again, we're in Maitland's half. Make sure there's a little bit of quality here.
Not too many numbers in and around the box. But Ellie Jones will put it deep. Cleared originally. O'Driscoll follows up. That's a better ball out wide now. Flick on. Decent spell, but Maitland will break now. Amos. Pountney makes a run forward. Amos, look at that burning run to continue. She will get it back. Amos through on goal. Her shot, was there a push in the back as she took the shot? Maybe not. Azzurri again, really trying to play out quickly from the back now. Nenadovich, Chloe Martin clears. Sienna Denholm, new signing from New Lambton. Good patch there. Sienna Frost showing a lot of determination. She's really good without the ball, isn't she, as well in terms of her press. She wins her side a throw here. As you mentioned earlier, Ryan, the season gets underway next week. It all starts on Friday night at Lycile Oval with Charlestown and New Lambton. Macquarie Field, it's finally ready to go on Saturday. This time next week at St Macquarie Welcome Olympic. And to round out the weekend, Magic at home to Adamstown Rosebuds. Maitland have the bye next week, so they'll be looking to have a good hit out here. Frost cuts in on her right foot like you spoke about. Frost still turns her side a corner, but again, Nenadovich, the dominator of everything, looking for those wide outlets, whether it's Amos or Frost.
And it started down here near the halfway line. She was under pressure. She protected the ball with her first touch. She kept possession. She recycled it back out through the defenders. And that's the difference for me right now when both of these teams are in possession. Charlestown look a little bit rushed for me, whereas Maitland, through Nenadovich, there's a little bit more calmness, a little bit more quality.
Dag to take, very deep. Casso has no other option than to head out for another corner. We do know Charlestown are very thin on their bench today by the looks of it. Only 3 outfield players, if to be called upon, as now Dag puts it in, it's cleared. And that a foul was. Azzurri can breathe yet again from a set piece, which Maitland weren't able to capitalise on, but Azzurri now with not long until the break, looking to work their way back into this one.
Yeah, and if you can give Azzurri any credit anywhere, it's the fact that they have stayed in this game. You know, they conceded 2 relatively early goals, but we're just over 5 minutes from the half, and as we said earlier, 2-0 is a scoreline where you are well and truly still in the tie.
Well and truly in the game, that's for sure. Still got 5 or so minutes to hold out though. But it will be interesting this year, Ryan, to see how Alicia Ferguson shapes up this squad, because it's quite young by the looks of it, but an experienced coach by her nature, you'd expect a competitive team this year.
Yeah, Ish, I know Ish. Ish is a great person, a really experienced coach with some fantastic football knowledge. You know, played the game at the highest level.
Touch on that in the sec. Amos, it's a lovely cutback. Amos, Pountney tries to intervene. I think she could have left that for Frost, still alive. Nenadovich, she takes a strike.
But this Charlestown squad are going to need Isha coach's experience because they are a young side, they are an inexperienced side. You can see that just in how they possess the ball right now. So they're going to really need to rely on Ish and her expertise to get them some points on the board throughout the season.
Like we mentioned, they kick off their campaign against Newland the next Friday at home. They'll be looking for a strong start to the season. But yeah, just looking at some of their players out there, it is quite a young side. We don't know how they've featured in pre-season. I'm sure they've had minutes in the legs. But just looking a little bit under the pump at the minute. I think the main goal for them, Ryan, is as you touched on, not conceding. 3-0's a dangerous scoreline. Frost. A lot of space now for Neil. Neil inside, and there's a touch there from Elodie Dagg, who seems to be playing that more higher of a role.
I think it's actually helping Charlestown that both Sienna Frost and Will O'Neill want to come in on the inside, because it is quite compact when they get near the box. Charlestown have kind of defended the box pretty well centrally, so it's actually working in Charlestown's favour, the fullbacks coming inside, whereas on the opposite side you can see Ames going on the outside, getting to the byline and getting in really promising crossing positions. Not so much on the left-hand side though.
That's a better intervention from DiCasso, the new signing from MacArthur Bulls. Left back who will look to bring a bit of experience to Ish Ferguson's side. The forward run again. That's where it goes, out wide through Neil. Neil assessing her options, cuts in on that right foot. Still Neil. Poutney on a weaker foot there.
And you can see how it breaks down, right, when Willow comes inside there. For me, if she'd have got on the outside of the player, isolated her 1v1, that would have provided potentially more opportunities for Maitland going forward. But constantly, because they want to come inside, it is making it that little bit easier for Charlestown to protect their box.
We'll see if they switch things up in the second half in terms of personnel. I'm sure that's something that Ish Ferguson will recognise. And now Charlestown on the front foot, looking to slow down. That's a teasing cross. Denholm at the back stick. A lot better from Missouri though, and that's a positive end.
Yeah, Jessie Gentle's been their outlet, right? Because Jessie's switch sides, which I think was again a great decision from the coach, because they were getting opened up on their left-hand side. Jessie Gentle's now gone onto that side, and you can see how she drops in and just covers that space a little bit better, which makes it a little bit more difficult for Maitland to go that side. And you'll see they'll come back this side now. But Jessie Gentle has been Charlestown's outlet when they have been in possession.
She's certainly the target player. What a ball that is from Nardovic, especially on her weaker foot. Such a classy midfielder. Certainly deserves the honours that she picked up across the last few seasons. She'll be one for sure. They're looking to pick up silverware as well, not only tonight, but throughout the season. We know Maitland are always there and thereabouts come finals time. And it was Missouri last year, who won everything up for grabs. Now it's a great layback. O'Driscoll, she's got space. Great intervention by Chloe Martin. Ames now. She's seen a lot of the ball. Nardovic tries to slip it through. See what she was thinking. And how can Charlestown keep it? That's a great challenge again. Nardovic drops it off. She gets the 1-2. Shouts for a penalty. Only minimal. Play on through Dagg. Ames. Missouri Wadden offside. Play continues across. Missouri struggling to clear. Now they do. And Jessie Gentle can try keep that one in, which she does really well, but again, robbed back. Missouri just really struggling to keep a foothold in this game. Every time they seem to win the ball back. Maitland turning it over now. Heaps of space in the middle of the park. Frost. Wants that right foot inside now. Still Sienna Frost. And Model 4 to Neil. Chloe Martin's there to clear. She seems like she's been at the front foot of everything, Chloe Martin. Just anything that gets thrown into the box, she's there to clear, and so a captain should. Dag. Nanovic finds O'Driscoll space out right. O'Driscoll. More shouts from offside from the Missouri perspective. I think they're just waiting for that half-time whistle.
Defended the box again really well, though. You know, they all dropped back in, they plugged the gaps. Maitland again want to come inside, but Charlestown are defending key areas very, very well right now.
It's just about what they can do with the ball, and there's another example. Struggling to play out. There we go, time for the skipper now, Chloe Martin, to assess her options. She immediately looks long. Ball intended there for Gentle. Maitland now through O'Driscoll. Looks for that long ball. Amos down the right-hand side. Amos. It's back, Dag. Frost, still Sienna Frost. Sienna Frost! That is not what Azuri would have wanted before the break, but Sienna Frost finally gets what she deserves. And Maitland stretch out to a 3-0 lead seconds before the break.
Good take from Sienna Frost. Maitland have been knocking on the door, let's be honest. They've been doing it for a while now. I was about to say at halftime, if it was 2-0, that Maitland were going to be disappointed almost with that scoreline, which sounds silly because they're 2-0 up, but they really have been in and around Charlestown's box for the majority of this half. And for me, probably should have done a little bit better. But that's where Sienna Frost there, she comes inside, finds a little pocket of space, great first touch, and ultimately gets a great finish.
You can see their press is still relentless. Maitland won a fourth. Amos slipped through, she onside. She's not, but like you mentioned, a really well taken goal there from Frost. That first touch that set her up and took it into her stride. She couldn't miss from there, and she gets a goal that she's deserved today.
Yeah, I'm pleased for Sienna. She got a few first grade minutes last year, but you know, they were kind of sparingly. What I'm hoping to see from Sienna this year is really making a stake for first grade starts, and goals like that will do nothing short to help her case, because for me she's a great player.
Certainly is. She's done nothing to hurt her chances of featuring first grade. Is there anything for Azuri before the break? That helps. A lovely touch inside. Denholm, she cuts it back, and better stint from Azuri. I think this is the first time they've been down in that half. But like you mentioned, Sienna Frost, you would have had some experience with her in the under-16s emerging Matildas championships with Northern New South Wales. I know she's good mates with Sophie Johnson, who's on the bench tonight. That's a well-taken goal from here. It's a foul.
Yeah, and under-15s as well. Sienna, she went away with us for a couple of years and did really well. You touched on it earlier. Without the ball, she's aggressive, and with possession, you just saw that little bit of quality from her as well.
Well, there it is. Our referee, Harrison Coleman, blows for halftime here at Jack McLaughlin Oval as the lights start to come on here. Goals to Sienna Frost, as we mentioned, as well as Renee Poutney and Talia Gosner have Maitland ahead at the break. 3-0, a commanding lead from Maitland, have showed too much class as we speak. And Missouri, well, they'll be looking to improve in the second half. The game is by any means not over, but we will take a short break here on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. Thank you so far for tuning in, and we will catch you for the second half.
What does medical research look like? Become involved in local research with global impact. Hunter Medical.
Welcome back to Jack McLaughlin Oval as we await the two teams to make their way onto the field for the second half as the crowd slowly enters ahead of the next game that's coming up between Broadmeadow Magic and Cooks Hill United. Both teams had really successful starts last season, so that one comes your way at 8:15. But Ryan, it was a Maitland dominance in that first half.
Yes, it was, and really interested to see how Charlestown approach this second half. What I would like to see is them be a little bit more confident in possession, take their time a little bit more, and try and minimise the amount of turnovers that they're taking, that they're giving to Maitland. Try and get a little bit of field superiority, build up through the thirds potentially. But look, it's a new team, they're young players. That's a lot easier said than it is done, especially against this quality Maitland side, as we've said. So I think regardless of how this game kind of goes from this point, I think Alicia Ferguson will have a lot more understanding of what the squad's capabilities can be moving forward into the Northern New South Wales Football's 2026 season.
That's a good thing about pre-season in these matches, right? Is you get an understanding, you get on the same wavelength as players. And Charlestown, well, as we mentioned, they start their season next Friday against New Lambton. They then head at home to Olympic, and then these two sides clash at Log Carlover in round 3. So that's 3 home games to start the season for Charlestown. And I'll tell you what, they need to gain a little bit more momentum in this second half and building into next week.
Yeah, and I think that's what the message would have been at halftime. We've got 45 minutes now. Let's go out there. Let's get minutes in the legs. Let's work hard. Let's see what we can do, and let's prepare ourselves for next week. And look, if we can get a goal early, then who knows what can happen.
Well, I was going to say, talking on games, Maitland, they've got the bye next week, so they'll be leaving everything out there. Maybe giving some youngsters on the bench. We know they've got the likes of Julia Innes, Sophie Johnson, Leah Cunningham, Georgie Williams, only to name a few that could come into the frame. But Maitland have been the far better side as the second half gets underway.
Okay, so you can see already Charlestown are just sitting in now. So they're allowing Maitland to have the ball here. They're minimising time and space across the whole field. This looks like a much more structured setup already. As you said, Harry, from an experienced coach, that's going to stop those kind of passes now. They're not going to work for Maitland, I don't think, as long as Charlestown's set up like this. And again, that's better from Charlestown. Much better start in possession.
Beautifully played out right now to the new signing, Picasso from the Bulls. Like you mentioned, getting their foot on the ball, stringing a few passes together. They seem to come out a little bit more determined. But now O'Driscoll heads it on, the battle of the 32s. O'Driscoll down the right-hand side, still going, searches and nearly finds Poutney. Ellie Jones will clear in.
Wrong decision from Poutney there for me. We saw her earlier finish first time. I think that again for me was probably one to hit first time. Great work by Nat O'Driscoll down the right-hand side, going on the outside of a defender, getting to the byline and a little cutback with good pace, good accuracy. Probably first time hit for me there.
She's already got 1 goal to her name tonight. She'll be eager for more, especially heading into the season, which gets underway next week.
Even the foul there, it's an intelligent foul for me.
Tactical, yeah.
We're not giving them, it's not going to be easy possession in these areas no more. I think this start, and I know, we're only 2 or 3 minutes into the second half, but I think this will be more positive signs for the head coach already than what they saw in the first half.
You can already see they looked a bit more determined off the ball, don't they? They know their roles a lot more in the first half. I think as the half goes on, though, you get more of an understanding because, they've got to be strong to match it with Maitland, especially in the midfield when you've got the likes of O'Driscoll, Nardovic pulling the strings. And I'll tell you what, based on that first half action, we know they like to use the wide outlets, but this is better. Frost doing her defensive duties, and she comes away with it now. Space out right, that's what she'll look for. Cassio gets the flick on, but now Ames 1-on-1. Amos through to Pountney. That always looked to be offside there, Ryan.
Yeah, Pountney just needed to just hold that run a little bit more. She tried to bend it, stay on side, but she just went a little bit too early there.
Bartels to go long. Great flick. I don't feel like Azuri have got the fullbacks high enough as opposed to Maitland, but I guess that sort of happens when you're 3-0 down. They'll be looking to improve that, but it's Nenadovich. That's a lovely, clever flick. Pountney into the area. Now a break down this right-hand side. Beautiful from Jessie Gentle. Still Gentle. She's done really well. Jessie Gentle into the box. Redmond's shot. And that shot well over the bar there. But Sienna Denholm, the new signing from New Lambton. But you touched on it, Ryan. 5 minutes or so, not even that into the second half, and Azuri have certainly ramped up the pressure.
And again, Jessie Gentle is the outlet, right? She looks full of running. She looks really direct. Jessie Gentle, for me, has been a real highlight for Charlestown in the game so far. But again, better from Charlestown, right? They're starting to be a little bit more confident in possession, and it might take this squad, a few weeks to get to that stage. But even there, ball gets played into Elodie Dagg, a little bit more pressure, denying time and space, not giving Maitland time on the ball. I've been impressed in the first 5 minutes into the second half. I've been impressed with Charlestown's attitude.
A lot more physical and determined, but they've got to watch the pace of Amos, who breaks there. Her ball into Pountney. Pountney, she had options left in O'Driscoll and Frost, but then again, a classic example then, Ryan, of even though Azuri have improved, if Maitland do look to those wide outlets, they can break just like that.
And that's the quality that Maitland have. So it's all well and good, tactically being a little bit more sound, but you've got to respect teams like Maitland because of the quality that they've got.
They're going to be a force across the 2026 season. They've obviously got the bye next week. This will be a good understanding this week to get an understanding of how they'll look in preparation to the season. 3-0 ahead as we speak. It's now out wide. Amos. Nenadovich with the outlet. Searching for runners. Inside pass, O'Driscoll. She looks for the run. It was a great idea for Amos. Execution not right. Now this is where Charlestown off the ball look to be aggressive. Maitland patient in their approach. Pountney with the hold-up play. Crunchy tackle there from the two number 8s going at it. Ellie Jones wins the foul. And you know what? In patches in that first half, Ryan, Charlestown absorbed a lot of pressure. And you feel like that little stint there would have given them a bit of confidence to hold off Maitland.
Yeah, they did. They defended the box relatively well. Okay, they got breached 3 times, but it was for a long period of the times that they were in and around their own box. So to be only broken down 3 times was probably the positive. In possession now, though, if they can match that with a little bit better in possession, that's gonna only give them confidence.
Frost has been so dangerous in this one. Looks for O'Driscoll. It's going to favour her with the spin. O'Driscoll takes a shot and into the hands of Bartels. Like I said, the bounce was in her favour there, but Bartels up to the challenge. And this is what Charlestown didn't do in the first half. They looked to play it long straight away from the back. A little bit more patient this time.
But that's where they've got to do better. If they're going to go long, they have to get players in and around the ball. So if you don't win the first ball, you can win the second ball. And then you can recover possession and go from that area there. So going long, no problem. Go long and look to recover the ball higher up the field.
Beautiful footwork from Amos. Still going. Amos now into the box. Maitland looking for a fourth. It'll fall on the edge to Dagg. Denholm to DiCasso.
That's where I'd like Charlestown to be a bit better. You know, I think that's what the conversation would have been at half time. In those moments there, you know, if we're going to give the ball away, let's give the ball away trying to possess the ball, trying to do the right thing, rather than just kicking it, giving the ball away, surrendering possession back to Maitland, because you're just inviting this on constantly if you keep giving the ball away. Better.
Looking to work their way out.
And then, of course, it's easy to say, just keep the ball there, okay, but we've still got to have an outlet. And that's, for me, where Jessie Gentle can be that for Charlestown, you know.
For Charlestown, it's a very new-looking squad this year. Sienna Denholm from New Lambton, Ellie Knowles, who is not featuring tonight, Rachel Perrins, and Janalee Hunter, the new recruits for Alicia Ferguson's side this season. Milanovic, it's a strong challenge there. Nazuri, can they break now? Good driving run forward, and that pass there from Georgia Miners. I think she was trying to find Sienna Denholm, but just a bit too much power on that pass. Almost like a shot. Even a drum we can hear up the far end of the hill, because that's careless. Denholm now with a chance for Azuri. She slows the play down and probably should have beat her defender or looked to get in there. And now this is where the game can change. O'Driscoll. Dag to Amers. Amers happy to slow the play down. O'Driscoll makes a run forward. She looks onside for now. O'Driscoll assessing the options. She goes for back stick. Still alive. Pountney to Dag. Fancy footwork from Dag. Frost. Charlestown struggling to clear their lines. Frost takes the strike. Bartels manages to hold on to that one. Despite the scoreline, Ryan, it's a good turnout here at Jack McLaughlin Oval tonight. Crowd starting to build ahead of the second game. It's been very important. We've had this event run for 3 years, I think now, the HMRI Charity Shield, and if anything was, last year was anything to go by in terms of both matches, especially the men's clash, which went to penalties, but that one comes up straight after this in Magic and Cooks Hill. Play will resume now. Amers. She's been dangerous with her pace, looks inside. Dag makes a forward run. That ball pass there was clearly out, and Georgia Amers not too happy there.
No, she's frustrated, and I think the reason why she's frustrated is because she's got in some excellent positions tonight, and probably not taken advantage of those situations as often as what she'd like. You can see just by how she moves, she's a really quality player, but I think she's getting frustrated with herself more than anything else, because she's in those positions but not taking advantage of what she's like of those positions as much as she'd like.
We've had a substitute in the process of that. We'll let play continue because Frost, she's away one-on-one with Martin. Sienna Frost still inside to Dag. Frost, she's got the overlapping run, decides to use Nardovic out wide to the newly brought on Gorthorpe, and she was looking for that pass, but it's still alive. Charlestown struggling to clear, and Maitland at a fourth. Johnny on the spot is Renee Pountney. She picks up her second of the night. And Charlestown, despite a strong start to the second half, concede the fourth of the night, and Maitland is all smiles in their camp.
Charlestown will be disappointed. They'll be disappointed because there was an element of luck to Maitland's goal there. It was actually a clearance that I think came off of off of the striker and went into the goal. And Charlestown will be disappointed because they've actually started a little bit brighter in the first 15 minutes of this second half, and probably a little bit hard done by there.
Just to remind you of that substitution, Natalia Driscoll departs the field on the close to an hour marker, replaced by Keely Gawthorpe, who has entered the frame.
I think Nat O'Driscoll will add an extra element to Maitland's game this year. What I really liked about her performance today was her willingness to break lines with her running. Yep. So why break lines? Break lines because it gives defenders decisions to make. Do I drop? Do I stay? Do I pick this player up? Do I let them run on? And it kind of causes a little bit of confusion in the defensive line for the attackers to take advantage of. Nat O'Driscoll, for me, will run and run and run all day. She did it at National Youth Championships with Northern New South Wales football. So that willingness to run will hopefully help Maitland get on the ball in these kind of areas. With Nenadovic's quality, I think she's going to add an extra element to Maitland's game, Nat O'Driscoll.
Well, you touched on earlier the importance of that balance of youth and experience. So that's a midfield that I'm certainly looking forward to seeing this NPL season. But in the meantime, Maitland are through. Neal's onside. Bartels very intelligent to come out. She saves the second.
Great save.
Danielle Bartels with a double save to prevent Maitland from getting a fifth. That's a great piece of individual goalkeeping there.
Great save. You talk about experience. I was just watching Georgie Amos while Maitland had the ball, 30 yards out, and she was just telling her teammates, calm down, relax, keep the ball. We're in control here. We dictate the tempo, when to slow it down like we are doing now, when to speed it up in tighter areas. You cannot underestimate the value of having a player with that kind of experience and knowledge, when to do things, when to go faster, when to change that tempo. It's a really great quality to have as a player, to understand those moments.
Got some really intelligent players this year. Have Maitland and Ben Horgan's side, and they lead here 4-0 as it stands on the hour mark. It's a great ball in behind, breaking the channels again. Amos, play to the front stick. Charlestown now looking to get their foot on the ball through Denholm. It's been a great battle between Denholm and Elizabeth Clowes. That's better though for Missouri. Gentle. That touch will go out of play. As you can see on that far side.
Great double movement there from Georgie Amos. So she came short for the pass from the midfielder. She noticed that the fullback followed her out, and then a little spin in behind into the gap that the fullback left open. Really intelligent play from the winger. Especially if any young players are out there that are watching, they might want to watch that back, because some really intelligent play from the winger there.
She's been very impressive, obviously featured. She's heading into now her third season with the club. Frost down this left-hand side. Cuts back on that preferred right. I don't think the pressure was known there. Pountney intervene. Yeah, touching on Amos, as you mentioned there, Ryan. She's third season with the club. 2 goals plus 2 assists in the inaugural Charity Shield. First season out here at Jack McLaughlin when they won 4-2 against Magic. And you can just see her class in moments as well. And like I mentioned earlier, some real impressive players standing out in particular for Ben Horgan's side. They do have the bye next week, but this has been a good week to get to understand how they're going to shape up this season.
Yeah, it has been. But what I would say about Amos, and as she just comes in short there, good interaction between her and her own fullback. Amos came short and Will O'Neill went in behind. What I would say about Amos is she's not going to be happy, I don't think, with the quality of the final pass in the areas that she's got into. I think she knows that she's better than that. And if she is better than that and can add that little bit extra, which I think she will do, again, she'll be one of the standouts this year for sure.
Certainly a name to keep on your list ahead of the NPLW season this season. Another exciting year ahead awaits Northern New South Wales. PYL boys and girls, I believe, get underway this week. And then both senior competitions return for next week. Space in front of Willow Neal. Oh, looks for the run with Amos. I'm wondering with Amos as well whether they look to prevent her. There is a substitution here for Maitland. It's not going to be her. I don't think that the parts of feed will be Sienna Frost, but potentially ahead of round one this week, they maybe look to rest her legs. Do you think she'll play 90?
I was just putting my thumb up to her there actually. Yeah, I think she will probably play 90 because there is a bye next week, and sometimes I think the bye can help when you're later on in the year because it gives players a breather. When it's this early in the season, I'm not sure how much help that actually gives. So getting 90 minutes into your legs this week is probably more beneficial, especially, and she won't like me saying this, for the older players. Because you need to keep that fitness ticking over.
See how this one unfolds, but she's been one to keep an eye on. Being very impressive if the lights start to come into full effect here at Jack McLaughlin Oval. That's better for Missouri. Beautiful build-up play. Lacking that final product, but again, they worked really well. One-touch football there to try and play out.
Yeah, little glimpses for the head coach, right? Little glimpses of quality from Charlestown. Enough for me, in my opinion, to have a level of optimism for the season ahead, for sure.
Well, Maitland will have their sights on a clean sheet. Missouri haven't shown heaps going forward, but they'll look to potentially get a goal. Amos down the right. It's offside again in this one. Sophie Johnson as well, coming onto the field in that earlier substitution that we saw. Sienna Frost as well as Georgie Williams, who's gone out onto the left-hand flank. So you expect Sophie Williams to play in that central 9 position for Pountney, who's again put in another good shift today.
Yeah, and it's funny because Sophie Johnson, who's gone on in the striker's role, Georgie Williams out on the left, and if Sienna Frost would have still been on the field, the front three from Maitland would have been girls that have come through a Northern New South Wales youth programme. So at some stage, I'm sure we will see that this year. But again, just some great evidence that the club, as Maitland, and credit to the club, that they're giving youngsters an opportunity. There is absolutely a pathway into their first team, and they're nurtured very well through the youth program. So Northern working well with the clubs themselves in a player development capacity to hopefully strengthen our NPL women's program.
It's been a real talking point, hasn't it, lately? The importance of bringing young players through the system. We know the Jets in both the men's and women's have done that really, really well. Yeah,
absolutely. And, over the last couple of years, the Jets have worked really hard on that, and Ryan Campbell in charge of the Jets Academy in the women's space, and, Clayton Zane now, but was Damien Zane, done a fantastic job bringing players through those systems. And the Jets are well and truly reaping the rewards from that. So it's important. The youth development is important, and Maitland are demonstrating that tonight, and the Jets are demonstrating that on the professional level.
What's also key with those young players is they step up and take the opportunity. That's what Maitland players have done so well so far. Amos on the right. Amos first time delivery. Bartels punches away, and I tell you what, I think that was a much needed prevention because I think Sophie Johnson was lurking.
Yeah, important touch from Danielle, the goalkeeper. She claimed she protected her space really well there. Georgie Amos wanted that ball earlier. You could see she wanted to go, and what it actually did is it meant she went a little bit wider than what she probably wanted to go, which meant she had to put it kind of at that level, which was a little bit easier for the goalkeeper.
She's been impressive and a familiar name known to Charlestown and Zuri. It's a lovely play there. And you do got a feel for Danielle Bartels as well, who hasn't, she couldn't have done much about the goals that have gone in, but she'll certainly be a key piece to Azuri this season.
Yeah, I think she'd have been disappointed with the corner, because it was probably within the 6-yard box, the free header I'm talking about, and I think she'll probably look at that back and think that she probably could have done a little bit better there. The other ones, very, very difficult for her, but at the saying that, she's also come up with some 1 or 2, 3 or 4 great saves as well. So overall from the Charlestown goalkeeper tonight, overall a strong performance for me so far.
Maitland just really happy to keep the ball now. Good interchange of play. Dag finds herself some space.
The Maitland players will be enjoying this. They'll be enjoying this now. It's great this time of year when you're this up in a score line. The field's in great condition. You can play great passes. The legs are fresh. It's the start of the season. The Maitland girls, you can see they're stroking it around really, really nicely right now. They'll be enjoying it out there.
Certainly the pros of when you do go ahead. The calmness to keep the ball, but Maitland aren't done yet. In behind there was Georgie Williams. Bartels out the clean, but yeah, it's a good point you touched on, the importance of when you do go ahead of keeping the ball and retaining it. Maitland are showing that really well. Chance of let's go Maitland around Jack McLaughlin Oval. Has certainly got support here tonight. They did feature in the Charity Shield in its inaugural season. Missed out last year as Charlestown and Olympic went to penalties. So yeah, Denholm pressing hard, but again Maitland too classy with the ball.
So what Nenadovich is doing now, she's just dropping in front of the Charlestown striker, Redmond, and she's picking up the ball. She's dictating the tempo. She's choosing when to go forward, when to keep the ball, and what will happen in a game like this is Nenadovich will use her experience, will use her quality, almost just to kind of take the sting out of the game, kill the games, keep possession, keep the ball moving. You'll see it often now, I imagine, for the next 20 minutes, that Nenadovich will just keep receiving the ball from the centre-backs and just keep it moving really nicely.
She seems more than happy to play in that deeper role. 2 runs bombing on forward now. It'll be Neal driving into the box, a cutback, and that is a really well-taken finish. Georgie Williams gets her name onto the score sheet. Again, great build-up play down this right-hand side. And Williams, fresh off the bench, adds her name onto the score sheet. And Maitland go ahead 5-0. Another very, very, very well-worked goal, Ryan.
Yeah, so again, Maitland taking the tempo. They went forward, they came back. Great opportunity from Georgie Amos came inside. Will O'Neill went on the outside, and really great delivery from Will O'Neill. And Maitland, like I said, they're enjoying themselves now, so they're going to have runners. I think they had probably 3 or 4 players in the box at that point. And a great finish from Georgie Williams, who, like I said, I know really well, and does a great job. So yeah, good football from Maitland.
I was going to say Georgie Williams, another player looking to claim her stake, right?
Yeah.
Get first grade minutes.
But you know what? It's going to be difficult because Maitland have got some great players in there. Don't forget Sophie Stapleford not even in the squad tonight. Sienna Frost goes off having scored 2 goals tonight.
I believe it's 2, yeah.
So Georgie Amos, as we've praised already. Sophie Johnson's just come on the field. So
options plenty.
Yeah, lots of options, lots of competition, which from a head coach point of view, good headaches to have.
Very healthy habits to have. A few headaches as well for Ben Horgan, but he's certainly got options in attack. Sophie Johnson again pouncing. But like you mentioned, the likes of Sienna Frost and Sophie Johnson, who featured in reserve grade for majority of last year, you could make a case that they featured here and there. And those two played a key part in securing Maitland in their reserve grade spot for the grand final. But like you said, competition for places is high, and they keep performing like they are. They could work their way into this side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a key message there for me for players that are kind of on that fringe, 16, 17, 18 years old, on the fringe of first grade, reserve grade, is don't rush. Take your time, master your trade. You don't need to be in first grade and rushing into that first grade environment. Mature as a player and start to understand things.
Dan Holm down the
right. And your opportunity will come. You said it earlier, Harry. It's about then taking your opportunity. Age is only a number, but if you're going to rush it and then don't take your opportunities, then you're going to struggle. But if you take your time, when the opportunity arises, you take your opportunity, which Sienna Frost absolutely has done tonight, then, fair play to them.
Bartels very composed from the back there, but Maitland, it's gone in Azuri's favour there. Elodie Dag, that's a great ball. Searching outright for the speed of Dan Holm. She's got Redmond in the box, decides to go herself. But Azuri using that long ball, which we haven't seen throughout majority of this one. Azuri have also turned to their bench. Zalia Rose Porter coming into the frame and talking about substitutes. Well, they might have to prepare another change. They're very thin on that bench tonight. Azuri and Ish Ferguson's side. Looks like Sarah Perez. She will be replaced, so she'll leave the frame. Ellen Wheatley to come on. I think if I'm right, Ryan, they've only got one outfield player change remaining. They're very thin this year, but I guess they do have a fair few players who aren't featuring tonight.
Yeah, that'll be part of the challenge for Ish when she's when she's got a full squad to choose from. But again, there was a great example of Jessie Gentle there going past the fullback for Maitland, really showing her speed, which I think will be a real big weapon for Charlestown this year.
That's well read by Bartels. Alert to the danger. I think she's probably seen Amez come down that right-hand flank too much. Just wants to come out and have enough. Offside originally anyway, so it wouldn't have developed into any kind of goal-scoring situation. Might be able to see, but all Maitland players wearing green ribbons plus tape on their shoulder tonight in honour of one of the PYL players who has gone into surgery in pre-season, I believe. We send our best wishes out there. A very community club, Maitland, that they seem to, in these last few seasons, come together as one, but that's the reasoning behind the green ribbons tonight. But Maitland are in the mood for more. Williams around the keeper. Oh, Amez wanted the goal. Georgia Amez gets her name onto the score sheet. Adds a 6 for Maitland, and I tell you what, a bit cheeky there. She could have let that one roll, but she decided to get her name back onto the score sheet.
Yeah, and she's deserved it. I was unsure if she would get one, but she got an assist or a couple of assists in the first half. She's on the score sheet tonight, and she's been full of running. She's so fit, you know, physically fit, is Georgia Amos, and has absolutely deserved that goal this evening.
You can see she was delighted with that one. Maitland hit 6 if you're only just joining us now. It's been all Maitland in this one, and they're in the mood for more. Missouri now down the left through Casso. Rose Porter. Casso still going, and Missouri earned themselves a free kick there. Being few and far between set pieces for Missouri, but you feel like this might be a chance to loft one forward. Doesn't look like they're going to send the centre backs forward. They'd certainly love a goal just to feel a bit more confident heading out of this one. It'll be Ellie Jones to take. Jones lofts it forward. The flick on was nice and forced Annabelle Thornton into a save there. Not sure if she knew too much about Thornton, whether it was going wide. But Charlestown, I think this might be one of their first corners of the game, Ryan.
Yeah, they've not had much opportunity in and around Maitland's goal this evening, which is probably reflected in the scoreline. You know, but these opportunities, set pieces are an opportunity, so these might be things that Charlestown need to really concentrate on throughout the season.
And sent bodies forward, it's high. Still not cleared by Maitland. Maitland looking to break. They'll pounce here. Johnson does well to win it back, and they've got numbers forward. Williams searching for the ball, but it won't come, and they'll reset through Thornton. And there's with the dart inside, allowing Neal out wide. See a few tired bodies out there in this one. I've been surprised that Maitland haven't gone to their bench too much, but understandably so with the bye next week to kickstart their season. They'll certainly be strong contenders to be there and thereabouts in the season as they play some nice football here. That one just goes out of play.
Yeah, I would expect Maitland to be very strong this year in our competition. You know, they were you know, they were the bridesmaid last year in pretty much everything that they went to. This year it looks like they've taken it up another notch. Just as Georgia Amos comes inside, and when you've got the experience and the youthfulness, the aggression, with the quality that Nenadovic provides them in the midfield as well, they've added Elodie Dag to that, who for me is one of the competition's best players as well. I am probably struggling to see who is going to really challenge them this year. It might be early to say that, I understand, but for me, yeah, I'm not sure who's going to really be able to challenge this Maitland team. They're looking very well, and fair play to Ben Horgan. You know, Joe Wright did a great job last year. Created a good squad that was absolutely challenging on all points, but you know, credit to Ben Horgan, he's really got his squad ready this year.
Two changes coming here for Maitland. Leah Cunningham enters the fray for Ivanovic, and coming off down this right hand side, Willow Neal, who's been impressive, should be replaced by Julia Inez, a familiar name known in and around the Maitland family. Her sister Lily is also in the Maitland senior squad. I believe potentially the captain of of one of the reserve grade squads, but she'll come out to the right-hand side. Neil's been impressive in this one as well, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just about to say that actually. Worth noting there from young Will O'Neill. Done a great job this evening. She actually started out on the right-hand side, then went out to the left-hand side, and then came back to the right-hand side. So has done a really great job both in defence and attack.
Maitland continue to shift the ball nicely, and the fresh substitute in as we get a first taste of the action down the side there. You caught it, Ryan. Amez still out there, still in the frame. He's on the ball here.
And do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me knowing the player, that I reckon she's had a word with the coach and said, hey, I need you to keep me out there tonight. And she's enjoying herself. She's really enjoying herself. Look, really calm in possession.
Majority of the Maitland side certainly enjoying their football tonight. Looks to playing a little bit deeper, Brian. Amez more to that right back position, allowing Inez on forward.
I think there's just a rotation. I think she will go back high again. Yeah, she is. She's going back high again now. I think it's just a smart player, you know, identifying that the fullback's gone high. She supports the play underneath now and almost becomes the fullback for that period. Again, just a sign of an intelligent player.
Been impressed with Maitland in all aspects of the field, but especially in the fullback and wing position where we saw it through Neil and Frost in the first half. Amez looking for a second. We can see that smile on her face there. But yeah, just touching on the width that Maitland have provided. And you mentioned in the first half how Sienna Frost and Amez always like to cut in on their preferred foot. But it's been interesting seeing their fullbacks overlap at times as well.
Yeah, and what Amez gives you on this side, this right-hand side, to what Sienna Frost gives you differently on the other side is that Amez will look to go on the outside of defenders because she's a right-footed player playing on the right-hand side, whereas Sienna Frost is a right-footed player playing on the left-hand side, so she'll look to cut in a little bit more. It actually provides really nice balance across the squad where you've got one winger that goes on the outside and one winger that can come on the inside. So it gives kind of varied options for a team, because then obviously depending on where that leaves the winger, if they go on the outside or the inside, will then determine kind of what type of cross it's going to be, what type of shot it's going to be. And Maitland then will have a mixture of those different types of things in the final third.
I guess it's just a in the moment sort of thing, isn't it? Just allowing it and knowing what your fullback's going to do if you're a winger, and
yeah,
judging in the moment.
Yeah, and it's also that's part of the fullback's homework. You know, if you're coming up against Georgie Amez, you know more than often than not she's going to look to go on the outside. Okay. Likewise with Sienna Frost, you know more often than not she's going to look to come on the inside. So as a fullback, you want to try and do the opposite to that.
Again, a good interchange of play. But yeah, something for Maitland fans to be excited about this season. Not only in the wide areas, across the whole of the park, they have a lot of threats, especially that midfield, and their defence has been solid thus far tonight. They do lead 6-0 with just under 4 minutes to go on the clock before we head to the men's fixture at 8:15 between Broadmeadow Magic and Cooks Hill United. Both sides coming off successful stints last season. Interesting one that shapes up. Johnson now touches back. Johnson gets a return pass. Sophie Johnson onside. And Amez taps it in. Question marks whether they're offside. Maitland won't mind. They lead. They extend their lead to 7. And Georgia Amez grabs a double. Ryan, she might be in the mood for a hat-trick.
Well, you said potentially the ball was going to roll in on Georgia Amez's last goal. It absolutely was going to roll in there with Sophie Johnson behind her. I almost thought Sophie Johnson was going to tackle her at one point because she wanted to score that badly. But yeah, they're hungry. They're hungry, Maitland, and you know there's only 4 or 5 minutes left. But believe me, they'll go to that final whistle.
I was going to say they're showing no signs of slowing down. That's a 7th for Ben Horgan's side. Well worked team goals, and like you mentioned, here they are back on the counter-attack again. Amez slips it through. Huge chance here, but Bartel's out to sweep. And Rome, we just had a reminder from some of the staff behind us. Player of the match. It's been really tricky to decide, but who are you leaning towards?
Yeah, there's been a few players that have kind of shone tonight. It's worth mentioning young Sienna Frost, who wasn't necessarily starting first grade last year. Played some reserve grade minutes, played some first grade minutes. She's come on and had a really great performance. So it's worth noting Sienna Frost. For me, Nanadovic in the middle of the park is a Rolls Royce out there. She really looks comfortable in possession. She wins headers, she wins tackles. One of the league's best players for sure. But I think, you know, we probably can't go any further than Georgie Ames tonight. I think she's been absolutely outstanding. Was really dangerous and threatening in the first half. Got an assist or two in the first half, and has come up in the second half with 2 goals, and has had some really intelligent movement, some intelligent play. So player of the match tonight for me is Maitland's number 23, Georgie Ames.
Certainly a good shout. I was going to say, I've been impressed with her off the ball as well. That she always looks to be willing to make a run, even if it's just a dart in behind to drag the defence away. So she's always alert. Got 2 goals to her name tonight. We'll be looking for a third in the remaining minutes that remain. We'll know in about 30 seconds how much time will be added on. And as you can see to your screens right now, both teams in the men's warming up for the men's Charity Shield. Get set to get underway at 8:15. Johnson pounces on this one. Still going. Here's Sophie Johnson. Ames again out wide. She'll be hungry to get on forward. Dag, who's been really impressive. That's a lovely switch of play. Cunningham inside. Dag. Very good at retaining the ball, Maitland, but this is an effort. Why not in the remaining stages that remain? Elizabeth Clouds as well. She's been impressive on debut.
Yeah,
Maitland.
and again, Liz is a player that I know really well, and is a great addition to the Maitland squad, along with Nat O'Driscoll. I think those two will have a big part to say in Maitland's 2026 season.
Certainly will be key pieces. Not long remaining in this one. See what Harrison Coleman has to say. Maitland have been very clinical in this one, and they're not slowing down any sign yet. In behind goes Inez. Bartel's out to sweep. The long shot is on. Will it bend around? And the skipper, Chloe Martin, is there to intervene. Maitland looking for an 8th here in the time that remains.
Yeah, just didn't get enough onto it, and I thought she was gonna, because she was running onto the ball, which is always a little bit easier to get some power behind when you're stepping onto the ball at speed. Good accuracy, just like the power, didn't it?
Would have been the pick of the lot, wouldn't it, out of these 7 goals that have gone into the back of Danielle Bartel's net. But there it is, after heartbreak after heartbreak, after another heartbreak, and add a few more in there as well, Ryan. Maitland, they win a piece of silverware in pre-season here at the HMRI Charity Shield. A reminder that this rivalry continues, but it's Maitland who do get the edge. Charlestown had the upper hand on them last season, but Maitland, they're a new side this year under Ben Horgan. for Charlestown. It's a new chapter under Alicia Ferguson. It's going to take time to grow for this side. But tonight it's all about Maitland, who celebrate setting the tone for what promises to be a strong season for them. Ryan, they got it right in all aspects of the field tonight.
Yeah, and what I would say is Alicia Ferguson has probably learnt a little bit more about her squad, things that she needs to focus on in the upcoming season, areas for improvement, areas to develop. What I would say is I thought that they came out with a great application for probably the first 15-20 minutes of the second half, which probably, if anything, gives Alicia Ferguson a little bit of hope that her coaching, her style of coaching can give Charlestown that little bit of something this year. And when Charlestown defended the key areas, they did it gallantly. I would like to see them a little bit more in possession and be a little bit more confident in possession. But tonight, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Maitland side were good value for 7. And there was a point where I thought maybe they could be a little bit more ruthless in and around goal, but they well and truly turned that around. I think there's a good mix of experience along with some fantastic youthful players. I'm absolutely excited about watching Maitland this year. My concern or the thought process I've got is who's going to challenge them this year in our MPL Women's, and that's the challenge for the remaining clubs that are in the league. Maitland have absolutely laid it down tonight. The cards are on the table, and now the challenge is for the rest of the clubs to get as close as they can to that Maitland side, which is not going to be an easy task.
They've sent a warning sign through the competition indeed, and they run out 7-0 winners as they await the trophy presentation in the moments to come. But for Alicia Ferguson's side, it's all reset and head to next Friday night's opener against New Lambton. Well, thank you for joining us on the Northern New South Wales YouTube for this one. And don't forget that MPLW season does kick off next Friday night with Charlestown hosting New Lambton. From there, it's season go. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Maitland running out 7-0 winners. And until next time, we'll see you next week.
Congratulations to Maitland FC, congratulations to Charleston Missouri. Thank you both for putting on a session match for us tonight. My name is Andrew Marcus, the fine word of CFC, and I'm joined on the field by Northern New South Wales Football Deputy Chair David Wilby, Northern New South Wales Football CEO Peter Haynes, and HMRI Highland League. Firstly, we'd like to acknowledge the Northern people, the traditional owners of the land on which we live today, and our elders past, present, and emerging. To start, we'd like to acknowledge our match officials for their contribution this evening. We'd like to invite David Willis to step forward and present us with the medals. Fourth official, Aidan Cutmore. Assistant referee, Chris Brumfield and Miles Cormack. And our referee, Harrison Coleman. It's always difficult to lose the final, but Charles Stanton is proud of their effort today. I'd like to invite the captain, Chloe Martin, to say a few words. I'd like to invite Carly Bridges from HMRI to help us present the Player of the Match medal. The award is chosen by Northern New South Wales Football's Technical Department, led by Technical Director Ryan Hall. The 2026 HMRI Charity Shield Player of the Match is Georgia Amos. But yeah, I was pretty talking about that. I think it's a team effort, and the girls have put in a really hard pre-season this year. So I think we've just reaped the rewards, and thanks to Missouri as well. It was a really tough battle. I think you guys have been very paid this year, and I think big season to come for everyone. Thanks, Georgia. I'd now like to invite the captain of Maitland FC, Talia Gosnell, for a similar say a few words.
I'd just like to thank Northern for setting this game up for good charity for the Medical Research Institute. We also just wanted to let everyone know while we're wearing green in our hair and our arms, we've got a youth player, Franklin, gone for scoliosis surgery, which we good luck. Thank you, Missouri, for the game. I thought it was a good battle throughout the year. Thanks to the match officials for refereeing the game. I'd just like to say thanks to the coaching staff for good pre-season set us up, and come on girls, first win of the season. Let's go!
Thank you, Talia. I'd like to invite our junior players from Maitland FC to present our winners medals of the 2026 HMRI Charity Shield winners. We'll now call out the players that officially received their medals. Starting with number 1, Annabella Thornton. Number 6, Melody Gay. Number 8, Sophie Menendez. Number 9, Sienna Frost. Number 10, Kirsten Morley. Number 14, Renee Countley. Number 15, Will O'Neill. Number 18, Talia Johnson. Number 20, Elizabeth Platt. Number 23, Georgia Amos. 32, Natalia O'Driscoll. Number 3, Marion Dunbarton. Number 4, Keely Borthrock. Number 7, Julie Innes. Number 13, Alexandra Tagarulia. Number 13, Sophie Johnson. Number 17, Sophie Johnson. Number 19, Leah Cunningham. Number 22, Georgie Williams. Their coach, Ben Horgan. And team officials, Karen Thornton, Andy Walton, Jack Mockler, William Eric, and Ben Boyd. And finally, Captain Talia Goff.